Hello, welcome to this bonus episode of Warped Ones.
An emergency broadcast.
You
Emergency
lucky
broadcast.
people.
Yeah, we've obviously the news has dropped.
There's only 3/4 of us today, so we're going to say hello to Lee.
Yeah,
You'll be
say
listening
hello.
in.
Hello
Sorry
to
you
Lee
couldn't
from a
be here.
distance. He's not here. So we've got Sean, we've got Simon and Adam.
The
We
funny
are-
one.
Adam, the funny one. Here because obviously the news has dropped over the Warhammer Fest weekend. About 10th, the Leviathan box set. And
Yeah,
are
we're
just
so
here
excited.
to give our opinions on
Felt
the
we couldn't
Leviathan
wait till
box
our
set.
actual podcast to do the news section, so we had to cover it as a bonus episode.
Absolutely.
This is 10th Watch as a shortened bonus episode.
It is.
Cool. So, let's just chuck in what's in the box.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Hey,
What's in
come
the box?
on, that's my job
Oh,
to
sorry, I'm
do
taking
the
it
jingles. What's in the box? What's in the box?
Originality.
Let's all have a go, ready?
Yeah.
We'll all sing
What's
it.
in the box? What's in the box?
See, you get all sorts with us.
Anyway, back to the actual reason we're here, not just to serenade you with the jingles. What's in the box? So,
You can't tell we've been awake for a long time.
oh yeah, we've just
But-
done a stream on YouTube. Head over
Lots
to
of
watch
coffee.
our YouTube stream.
Yeah, just quickly, let's plug that. We've got a couple of streams on YouTube, so if you haven't,
Yeah, we're
already,
live
please
on
check
YouTube
out
now.
Our YouTube. We started streaming on Twitch as well.
Yeah.
To go along with our Instagram and Facebook page, Discord. Please get in contact.
You can find all the links on our Facebook and for everything.
All there. Search for Warped Ones. But yeah, right. We are talking about the Leviathan box set. What is in the box set?
So, it says here we've got 25 Space Marine miniatures,
25.
47 Tyranid miniatures.
47. So we've got a total of 72 miniatures.
We
My
have.
maths is on there.
I'm surprised at that being we couldn't work out the dice rolls earlier though.
Yeah, 72 miniatures.
Exclusive Warhammer 40,000 Leviathan rulebook.
Ooh.
Chapter approved Leviathan. I can't even say that today. Leviathan mission deck. And a Space Marine transfer sheet. Why don't Tyranids get transfers?
Because
Because
Have you ever tried to tattoo a Nid?
I was going to say, because their tats would be eaten back up into the biomass for them to go off and do something else. There's no point in spending time tattooing a nid. So
And try and pin a Nid down and tattoo him. I mean, I wouldn't want to be that tattooist.
no, absolutely not.
but yeah, so of the 25 Space Marines, what have we got?
So we got a Captain in Terminator armour.
Standing on the head of a Tyranid,
Yep,
which is just
yep.
sliced and
I
diced.
mean, I do like this model. I think he's going to be a regular stats for Terminator Captain in 10th.
Tactical
Yeah,
dreadnought
so-
armour.
Yeah,
Ta-
yeah.
you-
But
which
it doesn't scream out. It doesn't. I like it. I'm not saying it's a bad model, but it just doesn't jump out at me as a must-have.
They are really focusing, and they have really made it fluffy to do with Nids and Space Marines. So you
Yeah.
know what you say,
Yeah.
standing on the head of a Tyranid.
I will absolutely Space Wolf the shit out of it because that's what I play, Space Wolf, and he's going to have all sorts. Fur cloaks and fangs, might give him some Nid heads and an axe.
Yeah, interesting as well. Looking at it, they've said that he is going to be focusing on tactical dreadnought armor being resilient, but also someone who excels at leading Terminator strike forces deep into enemy lines.
Yeah, so maybe buffs to Terminator.
Yeah, we've seen the rules of the how the Terminator get a deep strike by sending
The teleport homer.
teleport homer before they arrive. So wonder whether he then can join them in deploying in that manner, which would be interesting.
On top of that, for Ultramarines, he's also can be a named character. I think in the fluff, he's Captain Agamon.
Agamon.
Yeah.
Agamon. So for Ultramarines players, then potential for a named character there, which would
Absolutely.
obviously be quite cool.
And how much better then? He will be able to be put with Terminators into their squad,
Yeah,
attached to the Terminator squad,
yeah.
giving the buffs, dropping out of Deep Strike.
Because that's how we know that the named characters in our HQs work in 10th is you attach them to the unit.
So that'd be cool. And then, but on to one which I know that when it came out before the box set, it was released. Definitely our chat came alive with lots of people liking
I
it.
really like this.
The Librarian and Terminator armor.
I can see me converting and kit bashing that into a Space Wolf Librarian Terminator, which is going to be easy to do. He's halfway there anyway.
Yeah, with the axe and stuff.
Yeah,
It is a
and
cool model.
they've knocked it out of the park with this one. I really like it.
It's looking good. The paint job. There isn't a huge amount of detail on there, which separates it out from other things from me.
No.
But you know, I'm looking at it and thinking actually, it does tick lots of the boxes. And
when I have Space Wolfed it up, or wolfed it up as I like to say, I will be showing everybody on the on the Instagram and Facebook to see my
Yeah,
progress.
Yeah.
it's, but yeah, no, it is definitely a cool model with the runes on there, the massive axe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, cool.
Absolutely massive
Yeah.
axe.
Looking forward to that, and yeah.
I do like that axe.
And then on to one which I know lots of people aren't that interested in because it's not like this big powerful one, but
Well, he's got his tea urn, hasn't he?
I tell you what,
Carrying a cup of tea with
he's
him.
carrying something with him.
Or a coffee urn.
Yeah, it looks like it. But it's the apothecary
cafetiere.
biologus.
Apothecary cafetiere.
And so I'm a huge fan of Biophagus from the
Yeah,
GSC
you
and
like
stuff,
this,
and
don't you?
I like just anything for some reason, anything which is a scientist or a science based thing. I
Yeah.
really like.
I mean, it's an okay model.
It's really weird, but
Again, it's not horrible.
I just like it.
I to be honest, I never look at a model and say I don't like that. I like every models, but there's obviously some better than others. This isn't the best, but it's not bad at all.
Taking samples of enemy biomatter with his
Very
vivid
cool.
spectrum and turning his foe's biology against them. So I'd love to see what that
I don't
means
think I'll
on
be
the
able
table.
to use this as a Space Wolf player because in the lore and on the tabletop they amalgamate the chaplain and the apothecary units in one, and they have a unit called a wolf priest who can heal and buff.
Yeah,
He's like a
I
chaplain.
mean, interesting.
Be usable. I don't
Interesting is, although it's called an apothecary, it's interesting enough that in the write up at the moment, what they've said is that they haven't mentioned about healing. Is that
He's there to get the Tyranid biomass for study.
Yeah, I just have a
and
feeling
use
he's not
that.
going to
So
be usable.
I wonder whether he's more of a
Scientist.
debuff or as in he's a debuffer or improves
But then
against.
what they want to do as well, actually, I mean, they don't want to have this one model and only usable or only good against Tyranids. So it's going to be usable against other armies.
absolutely.
But that's what I mean. Against any army, he's going to be able to probably be a debuff or improving things.
Yeah.
Lieutenant in Phobos armor. Adam's favourite.
Really like this. I know they brought out a lot of lieutenant models, and there's a lot of people. Oh, it's another Primaris lieutenant. This is the best out of all of them. Again, it's halfway there again. I'm gonna Space Wolf the shit out of it. I'm gonna put a beard on him, a different head. I'm gonna give him an axe maybe. But he's halfway there already. He's already got that savage look, hasn't he? He looks like he's been through the wars already. You know, his armour's patched up with nid skulls and
and it's great to see the Phobos Marines getting a bit of love.
I love Phobos.
Yeah, and you've played it many times where a Phobos infiltrating Marine force, and actually, when we've played it in the past, let's just say it hasn't really stood up against power wise compared to some of the armies you could take. That's true. So it's but it's good to see them coming down, and hopefully the Phobos will find their place.
Yeah, I think they're going to be more usable in this edition because each unit does its thing, and they have a place for every unit. So I think they're going to be a lot more usable. Will it be usable as an only Phobos army? Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah, sounds good. So the Stern Guard veteran squad. Looking pretty impressive.
So what are the Stone Guard? They're like the shooty version of a Blade Guard, really, aren't they?
That's the Bolt Guard.
The Bolt Guard, they masters of all thing bolt.
It's interesting enough, issued with special ammunition. I wonder whether that's taking from. Is it?
If you look at the lieutenant,
he's
got like a melter pistol or something, or a melter gun.
Yeah, no, Death Watch at the moment in Ninth are special.
It's going to be something like Hellfire shells.
Because you can have because they can choose what ammunition to put in, like a Xeno, anti-Xeno one, and that sort of stuff. So it'd be interesting to see what rules they have for their ammunition side and whether that matches.
Yeah, it's going to be something like Hellfire shells or something like that, isn't it? That do extra damage to Xenos
or +1 to wound or always wound on 2s like poison weapons.
Or it has critical hits to Tyranids or something like that.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how they stand apart. And then we're on to Terminators, which we've seen before, talked about before.
These are nice.
I'm new
going to get a couple of squads of them, I think.
Definitely. It's a little bit bigger than the old sculpt.
I must admit,
they're just better, aren't they? They're newer, they're updated. They're not that different, but they're better.
No, and I'm looking forward to the Grey Knights Terminators coming out whenever that will be. Then once again, another unit which got people talking in our community. Looking at the Infernus squad with all the flamers.
Yeah, I like this. It's going to be an Overwatch unit, isn't it? It's going to be good for clearing off of objectives. I think we saw a data card for these, I believe.
We did, and it was...
They force a unit to do a battle shock test.
At -1 as well.
-1, yeah. So I can see that what that's going to be is you can get close to an objective, flame, they fail, hopefully, their battle shock test.
Yeah.
They lose their objective control, or is it obsec or whatever?
Yeah.
Is it objective control?
Yeah,
OC,
objective control, and so to me, it kind of reminds me of what we obviously in this edition you pick units for different roles, and this is like an objective flipper, isn't it?
Yes.
Your opposition is holding an objective, and actually now you've got that unit which can.
It's not guaranteed though, is it? It's still dependent on a dice
Oh
roll.
yeah, absolutely.
But what
Even
you
if
do
you've
add in there is the addition of the battle shock.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So you're removing models. You're hopefully with all those flamers removing models.
Remove their objective control.
And then you're also affecting their ability to do stuff.
But as we know, we said this before. When you're using a stratagem, you're not actually giving yourself a dead cert. You're giving yourself a better chance.
Yeah.
Which you can still fail, which we quite often do.
Oh, absolutely.
absolutely.
Ultimately, it all comes down to dice. It's
and for us in this room, it's the ones we roll which adds to the flavour.
Oh yes,
that's good. And then on to the final Space Marine release was the Ballistus Dreadnought. You guys...
I like my Dreadnoughts. Being a Space Wolf player, I prefer the Brutalis. It's close combat.
Yeah.
But this isn't horrible. There would be a place for this in my army. Sit back and shoot. What did interest me, we saw a profile for this. It's got armoured feet. It attacks with its feet.
Armoured feet?
Armoured feet.
You have just taken a boot to the arse from a dreadnought. Punted halfway across the...
I like it.
Absolutely.
I just imagine it like, does he play football or something with a
drop kick? I like it.
It's the 40k version of Blood Bowl.
And the interesting thing I found about that one was is also the rule where if it's shooting at a unit which is above half strength, then actually it can re-roll the hit roll, which means that actually
if you've got like a single unit, a single model unit, does that count there? We'll have to wait for the rules to come out, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's but it's going to be interesting to see, and so like I said, another dreadnought, but one with rules which look to be
well, they're expanded on the Primaris dreadnought range, aren't they?
But it's going to stand out from the crowd, have certain abilities which might make it something you want to take. And
I think there's a place for it. Absolutely.
So that's all of the Space Marines. Now I'm interested then, because let's if I just think about the room a second, I've got myself, which I am now. I just hit 2,000 points Grey Knights, and I've played with them like twice in board actions. Never played a 2,000 point game, so I am all about Xenos. I am not about Space Marines, so I know my opinion on this from that point of view. You've got Adam, who's Space Wolves and Space Marines. You've been playing Space Marine, Space Wolves for a long time.
Yes.
And we've got Sean, who's Chaos. But the
flavours there.
The flavours there, similar in stats and how they play at times and that sort of stuff. So let's give a total out of 10. I'm interested in your total out of 10 for the overall look at Space Marines which are coming out in this box set.
For the overall look?
Well, just the whole thing. 7? You're saying 7. Adam's saying 7 from a Space Marine player. Yeah. Adam's saying 7. Sean?
See, I would say a little bit. I'd probably go 8 in bases as not a Space Marine player, but Chaos player.
The best two is the Lieutenant and the Librarian.
In terms of if you wanted to start a Space Marine army, I think it's a really good kind of box to build around.
But I don't think you get enough tactical stuff. So if you're just starting an army, you want some intercessors.
Yeah, well, depending on what they're like. And also don't forget there's no requirement for building now, so actually you can put those out on the table.
I think there's always going to be a requirement for troops. Which I think the
they're going to try and encourage it.
I think the Infernus squad are going to be either elites or troops.
Okay.
Interesting. In fact, I can see the Infernus being as elites.
I've got to. So we've got a 7 from Adam, an 8 from Sean. I'm going to go slightly below and say that I'm a 6. Just for me, nice models, but there's nothing there which ticks my boxes. We've talked about it here as a group, and actually we already have put in our orders. So hopefully we'll all be getting all 3 of us sitting in this room will be getting the box set when it's released, which means that I will be getting these Space Marines.
On the fence a bit, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so we might have 4 box sets coming into our group
He
for 4
did say
people.
if he does go that road, he's going to get. He will do Black Templars.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So we've talked about it and gone. Actually, I'm going. Actually, I would be interested for the channel and for us doing that to.
What would you go if you did a Space Marine army? What would you do, Simon?
I don't know. It's a hard one. I think that I'm all about fluff, and I need to look into it more.
Yeah,
I
think we discussed it before. And you did say to me once.
If I had to choose one right now, I'd go Blood Angels.
Okay.
Just because I the history with Tyranids and stuff I do like, and I do like the invasion of Baal and that sort of stuff. Read the book, enjoyed that, and they are different. But I also like the idea of salamanders with the flamers and that sort of stuff. I think that would be really cool as well.
Vulcan may come back.
You know what I mean?
So like Sanguinius.
Do you know what I mean? And so I just be interested.
Well, I hope he doesn't. But
yeah, so I'd just be interested in seeing. I do like the idea of a stealth with it as far as the Raven, whatever people.
Raven Winger.
Raven
Guard.
Raven
Guard.
But emo for my liking.
That's where I thought you would have gone because you like the sneaky
I like shenanigans because as with DC Cults and stuff, shenanigans I do. But yeah, I do think that if I was going to go now, I'd say Blood Angels just for the flavour. I think they've got the most flavour, but I need to look into them more.
Yeah.
Anyway,
or you could do your own.
Yeah. But six to me is good, but like I said, it's not something I'd rush out to buy if I wasn't.
Fair enough. I think that's fair comment.
So
that gives us an average of 7.
There we go, an average of 7. I like that. But if we can make sure we all choose different numbers next time to make it easy rather than having to do a mean, that would be great. So on to the second half of the box, which ticks my Xeno loving.
Is the better half.
Okay, so interesting. We'll see what the ratings will come out.
Absolutely.
Onto the Tyranids. And my goodness me, there's some models in there.
Oh, isn't it just?
So let's just go through them. So one which we've seen before, the Winged Tyranid Prime.
Yeah, well that doesn't do too much for me. It looks just like an average model. It's nice. Don't get me wrong, it's lovely. Just doesn't tick the box that says I need to go out and buy this.
Yeah, no. If it was just a single model released on its own, I wouldn't be too excited. I think that I look at it and go, well, Tyranid Warriors. I think it. It's got the head.
We haven't seen a data sheet for it yet, have we?
No, we haven't. No. So it fills the box and having something which flies.
But then saying
like
that, you only see on the picture the front angle. You might turn it around and think, actually, this is really nice.
Yeah, and
it
definitely is going to fit in. And just to say, I have a Nids army, a very large Nids army.
Both in model count and model size.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all love the mods.
Tickle.
There's something about Mr. Tickle's great. Mr. Tickle's just horrendous.
What's that unit again?
That is the
Tickling unit.
You put me on the spot now. The trouble is that we all call it Mr. Tickle so many times that actually it's
got long feeling.
We'll come back to it, Mr. Tickle. The long feeling, things.
And there's people at home right now screaming what it's called.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's such a bugger to play with.
Toxicrene.
That's it. Yeah, it's such a bugger on the board for the sheer size and moving it.
And it stops you from falling back, and it's auto.
I'm on about the actual size of because the tentacles stick out half the model size.
It's a nightmare to try and move, and
it's not practical.
And taking anywhere to play a game with it is a nightmare to transport it. But it's lovely. I love it. But it's going to fit in well, so that's great. Starting off lukewarm, but still nice. We like it. Then we hit bang with a Neuro Tyrant.
Now that is an amazing model. That screams to me that I need to have this model, which I'm going to get the box set, and I need to paint that and put it on my shelf.
Absolutely.
I'm not interested in starting a Nid army. Who knows? I might do.
Yeah, interesting.
But I really, really like that model. That would be a 10 out of 10 for me. That model.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, at least a 10.
Just that psychic power. Looking at the base, I love the fact that we've got sort of slime, and you've got a severed head on the base as well. It's looking really cool, and its little minions coming along with it. I
absolutely love it. I want to paint it.
With the brain look,
and on many occasions, the Neurothrope has been a really useful leader of my Tyranid army, with its psychic support and psychic powers. And if this one's going to turn that up to 10, I'm all on board for that.
Because Nids aren't very psychic heavy or strong with psychic phase.
Of course,
they're not.
But we don't have a psychic phase in 10th, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm interested to see
You're going to get lots of buffs.
I'm interested to see what they do.
I think the way 10th will work is if you're a psychic heavy army, you're going to be a buff heavy army.
Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to see. And then I'm scrolling down, and there's the big boy himself. the Screamer Killer.
Oh, I love this. Again, I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, but it screams to that.
He does
nostalgia.
scream.
Yeah, exactly. He does scream, but it's that nostalgia, isn't it, of that 90s metal model? I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that one.
absolutely.
It's
The
the
one
real
with the
juggernaut,
forearms.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's
I remember seeing those.
It's
Yeah.
lovely. It's better than that, obviously, because it's updated. It's not a 10 out of 10, I don't think, because the Neuro Tyrant is better. It's more detailed.
Sure.
It's still a lovely model, though. Again,
Still
I
a
want
nice
one
model.
of that. I want to paint it
and the stats
hug
excite
it
me.
and kiss it.
The data card excites me as well. And I definitely think it's looking a tasty.
That's
beast.
another one that gives you forces a unit to do a battle shot.
Yeah, absolutely. With its screamer.
I'm not being funny. If I saw one of them, I would be shitting my own heart out to die.
Christ. You heard it here first.
Adam shits out his heart.
Wait for the news report tomorrow. Man shits out
if
own
they were
heart.
real and I met one of them on the battlefield, I would just shit myself inside out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he wouldn't have to do anything. He just nibble on your biomatter.
I'd already be dead.
Yeah, biomass is gone. That's your heart's there waiting for him. So that's cool. But oh my god, some awesome stuff. But then, interesting enough, then we come over to the smaller ones, and being a Tyranid player myself, I this interests me as well, because these are lots of small gribblies I don't have. And so both people sitting with me would say that I have dabbled, and I do really like a little bit of a gaunt carpet and a little bit. Actually, one of my favourite units is the Hormiguns. I love those melee guys moving fast, hitting hard, lots of buffs, and I love
there is only one feeling when you're just watching someone move 20, 40, 60. 80 models
and the rest
100.
Do you know, I like what we're talking about the next model now.
We can do, yeah. So that brings us on to the Von Ryan's Leapers.
I do like these. I hate the name, if I'm honest. I get what they're trying to do. The name is probably going to be named after its first kill or somebody.
It was the biologist.
It comes from lore from a while ago.
Shit. It doesn't fit in with the rest of the army. It needed to be called something like a Leapergaunt or something like that. I don't know.
That's why you're probably not hired to name these ones.
Well, I don't think the person who fucking named them should be Von
Runner
Ryan.
Gaunt, Big Meaty Gaunt,
Shooty Gaunt,
that's better than Von Ryan.
Fighty Gaunt, Stabby Gaunt.
I just don't think that name's.
No, I get
Gaunt Ghost.
Yes.
I get it. The difference because it's so different.
Yeah,
to the
it doesn't fit in.
No, it does. It's
Termagants, Hormagaunts, just doesn't fit in.
Exocrine, Toxocrine, Von Ryan's Leapers.
But once again, we got small gribblies though, which are going to be ambush
the
hunters.
model's nice. If you zoom in on the image, the heads look I quite like the heads on them.
Yeah.
I'd give that
like mandibles,
solid,
aren't they?
Yeah, I'd give it a solid
mandibles coming out. And I once again, what I like about these is that I'm thinking about the sort of ambush. Ones we've got already in Tyranids, and actually it's nice to see these because I really like the Death Leaper and things like that, and so I'm thinking that actually these ones coming out, probably going to ambush you 9 inches away, that sort of stuff. I really like that, and the idea of pushing a fluffy army where I've got an awful lot of ambushing units makes me very excited indeed to be putting those. Then what's nice to see is brand new Termagants.
Yeah, and if you look in the middle of that screenshot, they've got the
Rippers.
Ripper Swarm.
New Rippers. Now, I don't need new Ripper Swarms. They look very similar to old Ripper Swarms, so I know what they're doing, but that's not what excites me. But to see some new Termagants, very exciting for me.
Because 150 of them isn't enough for you.
No, but it's as in I like the look of them. The thing is that, and I'm scrolling through, what they haven't released is new Hormigants. Now, my only issue with my Hormigants is that I would say about 25% of them fall over, and I have to try. I already started weighting the bases, so when the new Hormigants come out, I'll be very happy man.
Yeah, see, these models, they're nice. They're just the same as the Terminator.
Yeah, and
they're not doing anything new, but they look better. They're
updated,
21st century.
Facelift. But then this is where we get into the interesting one, the Neurogons.
Yeah.
Once again, new Gribblies. Yeah. I'm liking this. And if I can field a whole table of nothing but these different types of Gribblies, you better watch out.
I like the lore behind these, or at least the description.
Hashtag blast weapons.
That they share a symbiotic relationship with a parasitic neurocyte that cling to their backs. And if you look at the model they've got a parasitic, like a crustacean type thing on its back.
And the thing which popped into
It's
my
just
head,
cool.
it says that the primary purpose is to protect the powerful synapse creatures that coordinate the... So what I was thinking is this the Tyranid version of Grots?
Ah, could be, yeah.
You're an orc player. You know what I mean? How you have your orc screen and you have like an ability where if the grots are there, you have to target the grot and not you can't target the...
Yeah, they
sacrifice
themselves.
So I'm wondering whether are these little tiny ones which actually are going to do a similar...
I think it'd be a bodyguard ability where you can pass it off, or if they're close, you have to target them first.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're within so many inches.
So that's what it just feels like to me. It feels like a way of protecting.
You know, they'll be able to do some things on the battlefield. They'll be able to fight. They'll have attacks and stuff, but... I think they're there primarily to screen out.
Interesting, yeah.
Barbie Gaunts.
Barbie Gaunts.
I'm waiting for the Ken Gaunts.
Ken Gaunts. Soon. Barbie Gaunts. Barb Gaunts.
Oh, I love these. These are amazing models. That's a 9 for me. 9 out of 10, I think.
Strange fusion of Gaunt Biocannon and Ganglioparasite. Love that word. Ganglioparasite. That enslaves the two. Barb Gaunt's a living ordnance that showers targets with projectiles that explode in shards of serrated chitin. Chitin.
Not shitting.
Definitely. Well,
I would be shitting if I saw one. Yes.
Shitting you.
I'm looking forward to this once again. Seeing, I mean, could they be no line sights?
They kind of remind me of. Well, they are.
There is
weaker
plenty.
biovores, aren't they? I think.
Yeah. Biovores, pyrovores. There's actually some really good shooting.
Yeah, but I think it was the 8th that you could have a very viable shooting Nid army.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm very interested in seeing what these guys can do and how they're going to be different. To the stuff, because actually I think there's going to be some interesting different versions of the Tyranid ones which we can actually start to use. You know what I mean? I think it will be because you've got the Hive Guard obviously who are able to shoot and had their time in the sun in these last couple of editions of shooting out of line of sight and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see how.
I think there's because the T-shirt cannons for Space Marines that have been released recently are the outer line of sight, so maybe that is a direction that they're going in. Absolutely.
And then, should we finish off with the
saving the best till last
final one?
Yeah.
I know Adam's been waiting to talk about this one.
I love it.
The Psychophage.
I'm not a Tyranid player. I will be converting up the Space Marine ones. This is one of the best models I've seen. It's on par with the Lion in my eyes.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It's more than 10 out of 10. It's a 12 out of 10.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
So this is why Nids have got the better part. They've got the better deal on this.
So this is. I love the fact that they mentioned it, and I thought it when I first saw it, and then they mentioned it on screen of that lamprey, the teeth.
Yeah.
Which sort of grasp, hold, and pull you in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it really does sort of tick those boxes.
It's got real sort of eldritch, Lovecraftian horror.
I mean, not be funny. It reminds me of one of my favourite models for Tyranids, the Haruspex.
Yes.
Do you remember the Haruspex?
Yeah. I mean, it's very arachnid in a way. The way it's got the bulbous back, the legs.
The Haruspex, same with the tongue and all the mandibles which open up and pull people in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving all of that.
And what he actually does, he eats psychers and smokes them out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm really interested in how that's going to translate.
So he's obviously going to be a psyker killer. He's going to get bonuses for attacking psychers, or maybe psychers if they're in range. They can't quite use their psychic powers. They're going to be minus to cast or something. But it's going to be an aura ability of some sort, I should imagine. But if he kills it, does he get stronger? Because it says he eats them.
Yeah.
He eats psychers.
But interesting enough, let's read its write-up. It says, the hive mind has imbued this particular biomorph with a hunger for enemy psychers. Its digestive tract somehow able to metabolize psychic life forms into psychocorrosive ash, which it projects forward in blistering torrents. I wonder whether it
Don't
can...
smoke, kids.
Yeah, I wonder whether it's going to be able to target... psychers with ash, which sort of stops them being able to do their psychic powers, turns it off. Something like that would be really cool. An anti-psyker unit, which can not only, if it gets its mouth on it, it's going to do some damage, but actually from a distance it's able to really cause problems by putting ash out, almost like a smoke screen for shooting.
Either that, or it gets an additional, gets additional attacks for every psychic unit that it kills.
I think that'd be nice, but I think for the way that simple, not simplified, will work, it's probably over complicated for what they want tenths to be. It might be. We don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah,
see.
it'll be very interesting.
So that's the Tyranids. I have a feeling, like I said, I'm a Xeno guy, and I don't think I'm as excited. I own the Tyranids army, and I'm not as excited about these models as these people are. So shall we go around? So Adam.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 for Adam.
Those models are just beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to hug them and kiss them and cuddle them.
That's
They want to do that to you too.
Something tells me they'll come off better.
Yeah.
Sean,
your rating.
I'd go for an 8 purely on model look. I've got no interest personally in a Tyranid army, but they are cool models.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. So yeah, I'd go for an 8. They're definitely better than Nids get the better half.
See, when I first played 40k back in 2nd edition, I started a Nid army.
Yeah.
It weren't very big, but I had like the old Carnifex and the old Hive Tyrant. I would have done it this time, but Simon beat me to it. But maybe, there's always going to be an overlap when we've got this many armies.
When we've got all of them, we don't really get much of a choice anymore.
No,
exactly.
We can't have a new one.
Exactly.
Unless they bring out a new one in 10th.
Yeah. And so
Dark Admech.
So I'd say for me, as a Nids player, I am going to go down the route of saying my excitement for this. I'm going to say I'm going to go 10. I'm going to go 10. I was tempted with a 9 just because I got so many Nids the excitement level is there.
Yeah.
It's going to add stuff to it, and like I said, I already just reading those write-ups, I'm going actually. If it can get me some of those fluffy narrative lists where I can really hammer the ambushing
these remind me of
the
kind
Gribblies.
of like how good the Age of Sigma models are, because we've always said the AOS models are better than 40k, even though we prefer 40k as the setting and the game and the lore.
Yeah.
The Age of Sigma models are better.
Yeah.
On the whole, on average.
Yeah.
And these remind me of some of those Age of Sigma models that you just pick up and think, wow, this is a work of art.
Yeah. And the exciting news is that what they've announced is we've had the roadmap released, and we've got and what excites me about that is they're saying that with every release of a codex, each faction is going to be having updated and new models.
That's right.
That
They
could be
always
one.
do that
It
anyway.
might, it might be one. It
Every
might be
edition.
loads, but there's
Not going to be a
rumors
whole
coming
army
out.
worth of an update.
Well, who knows? Because there's rumours coming out now, and and I think that now's the time. I think that looking at these, and if these models are anything to go by, I think we are in for a treat coming up through 10th. So there you've had it. You've had our opinions going through it. You can see that what did we go for? We went with what was the score for Space?
7.
Went with a 7 for Space Marines. We've come out with a 9.5 roughly for the Tyranids.
Yeah, it does remind me of the 9th edition Indomitable box set, because the Necrons had the better models.
Yeah,
Space Marines had nice models.
Yeah,
Necrons had better. So always the Xenos that have better models.
That makes me as a Xenos man very happy. So if you agree with us, feel free to come onto our social media and talk to us and say you agree. Feel free to say we're wrong. Yeah, absolutely, and disagree.
Our opinions don't matter.
And so let us know. You can join us on the Warped Ones Discord, on the Instagram, Facebook. You can join us on our YouTube channel to watch our battle reports. And obviously, once we get our hands on this 10th edition, we'll be playing this like no man's business.
Once we sort of hammer the rules out ourselves.
Absolutely.
And get used to it.
So we'll be doing that.
And also hold out and watch out for us on Twitch.
Yeah, absolutely. We're starting to do some painting sessions
we'll
and
probably
chatting.
be anywhere else that you might find things.
So come and join us. Tell us what you're looking forward to, and so that's our bonus episode looking at this exciting Leviathan box. Hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully not too long until our next episode of our podcast comes out. So we look forward to seeing you then.
Yeah, goodbye from me, Adam.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from me. Take care.